Hey, welcome sports fans to today's Sports Roundtable. Glad you joined us right here on YHCtv channel 21 as we're into the very exciting time of the year, especially for the winter sports season. It's district tournament time, and we've wrapped up some district tournaments this week, heading into the second week of district tournaments for the bigger schools, classes 4 and 5, and into state tournament play this next week for classes 1 through 3. So season to an end, unfortunately. But the best games are ahead of us in state tournament and even more district games to come this week. So very exciting time of the year as high school basketball. Great following in our area here in southeast Missouri. So we'll be looking forward to seeing how they develop over this next week. And we're going to be bringing you some of those contests as well this next week, as we already have this past week, as we'll get to those highlights here momentarily. But a lot more right here on YHC this next week with some postseason basketball right here on Channel 21. And first, getting into some of those games from the other night. Start off with the Scott County Central Risco game we brought to you live Thursday night down in Gideon. What an atmosphere that was down there, and it lived up to what we expected it to be Thursday night in Gideon. It was Scott County Central defeating Risco 54-52, and what again that was, coming down all the way to the very last few seconds in the fourth quarter, as we've got some highlights to show from the game the other night. First off here, starting off as we see here, a nice basket in the foul by Drew Fortner. He had a big game for the Tigers the other night. Also, there you see Morgan Ludwig getting a nice reverse layup. Here, Keith Blissett knocking down the three on the right side. We'll see a nice dish off underneath for another Brave score. Here, a nice turnaround jumper put up and in by D'Antro Beard. Had some big buckets underneath for the Brave. And here's Nathan Burnett really starting to heat up in the second quarter, hitting 4 second quarter three-pointers. There's 2 of them there. And a nice step-back 3 for D'Antro Beard for the Braves. And here, again, Burnett, his third 3 of the quarter there. And then here to end the quarter, about a 35 to 40-footer for Burnett. Knocks it down at the half. Here into the second half, Keith Blissett knocking down another 3 on the left side. Morgan Ludwig, a nice little run here in lane in the third quarter. Ludwig with a nice finish, basket and foul. Here he is in transition again, all the way to the basket. He had a nice start there in the third quarter. Here, dump pass, Drew Fortner up off the glass. Had some big buckets here in the second half. Another little turnaround jumper in the lane. And a drive basket there. Ludwig scores again for the Tigers. Here, Wilkerson, nice little drive in the lane for Scott County Central here into the fourth quarter. Nice up and under move from Drew Fortner. Big basket in the fourth quarter there. Here on the inbound, another basket for Fortner. Here, D'Antro Beard in the last few minutes of the fourth gets a big bucket. Keith Blissett, nice little run here on the left side. Ties it up at 50. And here under a minute to play, nice run out. Scott County Central scores off of a Nathan Burnett miss. And that's your ball game there, 54-52. That last free throw, or that last bucket there, put Scott County Central up by 2. And Risco came down, couldn't get a basket late, and then free throw line a couple times and put it away. 54-52 victory, Scott County Central over Risco. It went down to the end. Risco had their opportunity, a 5-point lead with 3 minutes to go, and Scott County just plugged away, tied it back up. And Nathan Burnett had a chance, had a good look in transition with about 45 seconds to go. It obviously missed, and that last bucket that we showed transition, Scott County Central put that in off of the Nathan Burnett miss, and that was pretty much the lead that Scott County would not relinquish there in the last few moments of the game. So Risco, it just seemed like this may have been their year to finally get past Scott County Central. They got beaten out twice before in the state tournament. This is the first time they've met in the district championship. And Risco just come up a bit short in Thursday night with Scott County Central, but another fine season by the Tigers. They've went away for a few years, had a great run for about 5 straight district titles, and a couple of years they've moved on some players, but now they've come back with had their best season in history wins-wise this year. Had 5 wins, most ever in school history. Finished 25-3, losing to the Scott County Central Braves, who move on from the district championship into the state sectionals, which we'll talk about their matchup going forward. But a really nice game Thursday night between Scott County and Risco. Risco just being on the wrong side of it this time with Scott County, and Scott County finds a way to move on once again in the district tournament. So we'll talk about that a little later on in their state sectional matchup coming up. And taking a look at some other games from Thursday night. Actually, this was a Friday night game. This was Friday Class 1 District 2 matchup. Advance over Bell City handily, 89-60 as the Advance Hornets advance. They will take on Scott County Central in the state sectional, Class 1. We'll talk about that here coming up. In Class 2, District 1, it was Hayti over Campbell, and Campbell made a Cinderella run here in this district tournament, but come up short to the Hayti Indians. Hayti rolls in that one easily, 78-39. Hayti wins the Class 2 District 1 championship down in South Pemiscot. And in that game, Campbell as the 6th seed made it all the way to the made it all the way to the championship game, upsetting Bernie in the semifinals. 2nd seed of Bernie defeated them by 17, 61-44 Tuesday night, and Campbell will be in the district championship as a 6th seed, defeating Puxco and Bernie in 2 straight games. But their match against Hayti was going to be, it was expected. Hayti and Bernie, that's what we expected. Went down to the wire, and Bernie beat Hayti a couple weeks ago down in Hayti, and we expected that rematch. We didn't get it. It was Campbell coming out on top, making it to the district championship, and Hayti wins handily, moving on to the Class 2 state tournament. Also, another we have in the Class 2 District 2 finals, it was Oran over Scott City, and Oran wins that one 64-31. No problem for the Oran Eagles as they advance to the Class 2 state tournament, as they will take on, which we'll talk about that matchup coming up. THAYER over Southern Reynolds. THAYER in Class 2 District 3 out west, and THAYER, the top-ranked state in Class 2, having a great year. And they win that one, a close one, though, 49-45. THAYER don't put up a whole lot of points out there. It seems like they're really methodical team, very physical, but pulling out that district championship out west in Class 2 District 3. They will potentially meet up with one of the Southeast Missouri teams, Oran or Hayti, in the quarterfinals. That would be, I think that'd be taking place out. I'm not going to speak out of turn. It's the road that I can't quite remember, but yeah, THAYER could potentially face Hayti or Oran in the quarterfinals. And in Class 3 District 1, Charleston defeated Caruthersville, and that was a pretty close one, 52-46 score. Charleston over Caruthersville, and we expected this matchup in Class 3 District 1 pretty much all year. They met last year in the sectional round where Caruthersville advanced over Charleston. Charleston brought back a really good crew, so did Caruthersville. Caruthersville expected to come out of this area this year as they brought back a great nucleus from last year's team that were quarterfinalists in Class 3. But Charleston rebounded well this year. Mardarian Clark, a big part of that. He just really took his game to another level this year. And Caruthersville just coming up a bit short in Malden Thursday night, but Charleston moving on as the Class 3 District 1 champion, as we've seen quite a bit. I think this is their 66th straight year winning Class 3 District 1 championship, so Charleston looking really good in the district once again this year, and they'll move on to the Class 3 state tournament. Caruthersville season comes to an end. It's almost a shame that they share the same district, but that's just the way it is. Caruthersville, another fine year. Lamont Bell's done a great job down there with them, and just coming up a bit short, but another great year by the Caruthersville Tigers. They've had one of the better runs we've seen over the past couple of years there in Caruthersville in Class 3. Also, we have in Class 3 District 2 up north, Saxony Lutheran coming away with the district championship. Very impressive season this year, and they defeated DONIPHAN soundly 96-66. And I think they've got maybe 3 losses on the year. Very few losses up there. Kevin Williams has done great over the last few years. and they're in the Class 3 sectionals as they will take on the Charleston Blue Jays in the sectional round come Wednesday night. So we'll talk about that here momentarily. Also, in girls, let's go do the girls' games. Class 2 District 1 finals down in South Penobscot. That was Puxico over Hayti soundly, 73-35. Puxico over Hayti. And Puxico just started that girls program a handful of years ago. Now they're district champions. I believe it's Jordan Reese down there. Done a great job with Puxico. She actually was the first coach there handful of years ago, started it, and has excelled to this point as champions and done very well. So congratulations to the Puxico Lady Indians winning their, I believe it's their first ever district title, because I don't know before they started this program, I don't know if they've ever had girls basketball in their history, but they've done very well in a short period of time there in Puxico, coming away with a district championship Thursday night there at South Penobscot. So they'll advance on to the Class 2 state tournament going forward. And Oran getting a win over Chaffee in their Class 2 District 2 final as Oran wins 62-48, and Oran will advance on to take on Puxico in that sectional round. And in Class 2 District 3 out west, Neelyville over THAYER in that district championship 60-57, a close one out there. Out west, Neelyville, one of the top teams in southeast Missouri in girls basketball, have a really good year and just edged THAYER for that district championship. So Neelyville will advance on to the 2 state tournament. And taking a look at the Class 3 District final for the girls, Kennett beats Malden in a Duncombe County clash there for that district title down in Malden, and won that one 50-35 as Kennett will advance on to the Class 3. The Class 3 state tournament going forward. So the Kennett Lady Indians making a nice run. Jim Vaughn coaching the Kennett Lady Indians this year. So good luck to the Kennett Lady Indians moving on to the Class 3 state tournament. And Saxony Lutheran up north, Class 3 District 2. In that final, Saxony Lutheran defeating Arcadia Valley 72-47. A little upset there. Saxony Lutheran, the second seed, beating Arcadia Valley pretty handily there as they move on. They went in and got third place last year, I believe. Went to the Final Four, had that team, that's had a great run. They all graduated last year, but still got quite a bit of talent there to pull off a district championship once again this year in Saxony Lutheran. And in high school basketball, boys games, Class 4 and 5 have not got underway except for this weekend. Cape Central defeated Dexter, I believe that was Thursday night. Cape Central over Dexter 71-38. They both play out of Class 4. So Cape Central getting that big victory. Also a SEMO conference matchup between the two. Cape Central over Dexter Thursday night. And those are your games from Thursday night in the area. And that'll pretty much wrap up the district games that have taken place so far, as we will get into the matchups going forward in Classes 1 through 3, boys and girls, and also the Class 4 and Class 5 district tournaments starting this weekend and progressing throughout this next week. So we're going to take a quick break and be back with those matchups coming up. And welcome back, and now taking a look at some of the matchups going forward in the area this week. And first, starting off with boys Class 1. The boys Class 1 state tournament going forward for Missouri. As you see there, Scott County Central and Advanced winners of the District 1 and 2 tournaments this week. And should be a good matchup. The last time they played, I don't know if we can really take away that much from it. As we know, Scott County Central was without Deantrell Beard. I believe Tyrus Banks was out as well, I believe, and also Keith Blissett. Three of the better players for the Scott County Central Braves were out for that game, and Advance won 107 to 57. So, not really a accurate preview of that potential Class 1 sectional to be played Tuesday night in Bloomfield. So really don't know what to expect in that game. You can't really look at that game and take much away from it, but it'll be a good one for sure. Scott County Central and Advance Tuesday night at Bloomfield, and we're going to be on hand to carry that game, so we'll talk about that here in just a moment. And this is the top half of the bracket. There's actually 16 teams in the state tournament. This is the top half that's more pertinent to our area. Eminence and Bradleyville will take on each other in the neighboring sectional. So the winner of Scott County Central Advance will take on the winner of Eminence and Bradleyville in the quarterfinals over in Van Buren, I believe. And the winner of that quarterfinal matchup will go on to the semifinals, the state Final Four in Columbia. So that's the way the state tournament looks so far for the top half of Class 1 right now. And taking a look at Class 2 state tournament, Hayti and Oran will do battle this week. Hayti versus Oran. And, that'll be a nice matchup there. I don't think they've played this year. Kind of far apart there between Hayti and Oran, but should be a good little matchup. Haven't seen Oran this year, but Hayti, very improved team as the year has gone on. They're pretty much playing at their best part of the season this year. They've had some really good wins decisively in the district tournament, especially over Campbell. But they're at the strongest point of their season. They've played all year, playing with a lot of confidence. So we'll see how that plays out between Hayti and Oran this Tuesday night, and I believe that will be at Three Rivers College over in Poplar Bluff, I do believe. So we'll see how that plays out Tuesday night as well. And the neighboring sectional there is THAYER and Hartville, and they will do battle. And THAYER's the top-ranked team in the state in Class 2, so pretty interesting matchup there as THAYER and potentially Hayti and Oran match up in that quarterfinal round. And in Class 3, Charleston and Saxony Lutheran set to do battle Wednesday night at the Dexter Bearcat Event Center in the Class 3 sectional. Charleston versus Saxony Lutheran should be a good one. Saxony Lutheran's had a great year, only 3 losses on the year, I believe. Charleston's been very good as well. Should be a really good matchup between those two, and I think whoever comes away will represent well going forward. But some potentially big matchup there. Park Hill Central and Whitfield in the neighboring sectional. Whitfield's a highly ranked team in the state in Class 3, so that could be a potentially big matchup there in the quarterfinal going forward. So Charleston Saxony Lutheran is going to be a good one Wednesday night at the Bearcat Event Center in Dexter. And take a look at the girls' Class 1 state tournament. Scott County Central did not have a district championship game. They were the lone team in the Class 1 District 1 tournament, so they advance automatically. They will take on Delta in that sectional round, and the neighboring sectional is South Iron versus Couch. Scott County Central and Delta will face off at 7:45 Tuesday night at Bloomfield. And in the girls' Class 2 state tournament, Puxico versus Oran, and Puxico and Oran will play over at Three Rivers College over at Poplar Bluff. And the neighboring sectional, Neelyville versus Gainesville. and potentially could see a Neelyville versus Puxco or Puxco or Oran in that potential quarterfinal matchup. So still have some Southeast Missouri teams there in the mix in girls Class 2. And girls Class 3, Kennett advances on to take on Saxony Lutheran. That'll be at the Bearcat Event Center in Dexter on Wednesday evening, 7:45 start. They're here in Dexter, and the neighboring district there, or sectional, Park Hill Central versus Whitfield. And now take a look at the boys Class 4 District 1 tournament that's getting underway here on Saturday. Sykes in the top seed will take on the winner of Dexter and Perryville, and that game took place Saturday night, and Dexter did defeat Perryville. I believe a 12-point victory for the Dexter Bearcats, and they defeat the Perryville Pirates. So Sykes will take on Dexter Monday night at St. Genevieve, and Cape Central will take on Notre Dame. Notre Dame defeated St. Genevieve Saturday night, so Cape Central set to take on Notre Dame Monday night as well. The winners of the semifinals, Sykes versus Dexter and Cape Central versus Notre Dame, will face off 7:30 Thursday night at St. Genevieve. So those are the Class 4 District 1 matchups taking place, or the semifinals coming up on Monday. And boys Class 5 District 1, Poplar Bluff will take on the winner of Northwest and Seckman. And second-seeded Jackson will take on third-seeded Fox. And that district's taking place over Poplar Bluff this week. So, Poplar Bluff and Jackson wildly expected to face off in the district championship, as they're the only two teams with winning records in that district, Poplar Bluff and Jackson. So at least they won't have to go to St. Louis to play the district championship up there, potentially at either Northwest, Seckman, or Fox. It's in Poplar Bluff, so Jackson will likely make the trip down to Poplar Bluff to play in that district championship come Thursday evening. And in Class 4 District 1 girls tournament, Dexter with the top seed. They'll take on the winner of St. Genevieve and Cape Central. And second seeded Notre Dame will take on the winner of Sykeston and Perryville, the 3 versus 6 seed, Sykeston versus Perryville. So Dexter has defeated the top 3, or they've defeated, I think, 3 of those teams for sure. Notre Dame, Sykeston, and Cape Central, and had pretty decisive victories in all those games, did the Dexter Lady Bearcats. So they're certainly expected to be the favorite in this tournament to advance on, I believe, for their 6th straight district championship. Been a great run for the Lady Bearcats. They look to duplicate that once again this year with another district championship. So we'll see how that plays out this week, but looks good for the Lady Bearcats going forward. In the Class 5 District 1 girls tournaments, Jackson, the top seed, will take on the winner of Seckman and Northwest. And Poplar Bluff, the 2nd seed, takes on the 3rd seeded Fox. And again, that tournament's over at Poplar Bluff for Class 5 District 1. And we're going to take a quick break and talk about the matchups we're going to be bringing to you this week here on YHC and YHCtv.com and Channel 21. And we're going to talk about that, those games that we're going to be bringing to you coming up. And welcome back. And now let's take a look at the games that we're going to be bringing to you right here on Channel 21, YHCtv.com. And taking a look at the games this week, Tuesday night, the 28th. We'll be bringing you the boys Class 1 sectionals from Bloomfield. And that'll be a 6 o'clock start from Bloomfield Tuesday night. That'll be Scott County Central versus Advance. And Advance back in this game from last year. Last year they went against the Gideon Bulldogs. Gideon won decisively, went on to win third in Class 1 last year. Advance back in the game this year. So they're going up against the Scott County Central Braves. Should be a good one. And a rematch in that game where Advance won handily the first time against a very overwhelmed Scott County Central team there without three of their best players, but should be a good matchup. We're looking forward to bringing that to you live from Bloomfield High School Tuesday night, Scott County Central versus Advance. Tuesday night, 6 o'clock start from Bloomfield. And the following night, March 1st, Wednesday night, will be the boys Class 3 sectionals. That'll be a 6 o'clock start. Charleston versus Saxony Lutheran. We'll bring that live to you Wednesday night from the Bearcat Event Center in Dexter. We'll be looking forward to that game. That should be a good one, as it always is. In that Class 3 sectional, Charleston versus Saxony Lutheran. 6 o'clock start Wednesday night from Dexter in that boys Class 3 sectional. Then the next night, Thursday night, on the 2nd, March 2nd, we've got the boys and girls Class 4 District 1 finals. And that'll be a 6 and 7:30 game. Girls game first at 6, followed by the boys at 7:30 from St. Genevieve High School. We intend to bring that to you unless some things just don't work out there up there at St. Genevieve. Haven't ever done a broadcast up there for sure. Well over about an hour and a half away here, but hopefully that'll work out Thursday night for us to bring those games to you from St. Genevieve Thursday night. For the girls and boys Class 4 District 1 championship games. So quite a few games to bring to you this week. 3 straight nights, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then potentially some Saturday games as well, depending on who wins, who advances in the Class 2 and Class 3. Class 2, or excuse me, Class 3. We'll see how it works out. Classes 1, 2, and 3. Seeing how that plays out for the quarterfinal round this next weekend. So quite a few more games to come, but we're coming down to the end of the year here as we can't broadcast any further than the quarterfinal round in any of these classes due to MSHA rules. MSHA broadcasts the State Final Four in Columbia, classes 1 through 5. So as far as we can go is the quarterfinal round. So we'll be bringing quite a few broadcasts to you the rest of the way right here on YHC. So hopefully you'll tune in. Some of the biggest games of the year are coming up, and we'll bring it to you right here on Channel 21. And we're going to take one more break and be back with some news from the area. Quite a bit of news broke this week that isn't basketball related, and we're going to come back with that here in a few moments. And welcome back. And to wrap up our show for today, we want to just throw out some news that broke this week. Not basketball related at all. Actually, goes back to football. Goes to football for this week, and some big news from the week. Aaron Pixley, the Kennett football head coach, has taken the athletic director position at Dexter High School. So Aaron Pixley will be returning to Dexter schools for the following school year, 2017-2018 school year, to become the athletic director coming up for the Dexter school system, and that will leave a vacated head football coach for Kennett. So basically, one bit of news creates another bit of news, as Kennett will be searching for a new head football coach for this upcoming season. So Aaron's done a great job there at Kennett the last number of years. I believe he spent 4 years down there, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was 4 years, might be even 5 years, but he had a great run at it, and won some district championships the last number of years, and finally beat Dexter this year. That's one thing that he made his mark there. Kennett finally beat Dexter. I think it was a 19-year losing streak Kennett has had against Dexter, but they snapped actually 2 victories over Dexter. One in the regular season, one in the district tournament in the first round of districts this year. So he delivered some good years there for Kennett. Really got that program on the right track. Really putting together some nice teams and had some big runs. They faced Park Hill Central a few times in the district championship, get that district title, but that says quite a bit that the district championships of today are considered the sectional round of probably just a handful of years ago. Before we went to this 18 district tournaments, it used to be just 4 teams in the district. Now we got 8. So to win a district championship, you pretty much got to win the sectionals like you used to years back. So a district puts you in the quarterfinal round of the state tournament. So essentially advancing to about the sectional round of the playoff system of just probably 5 years ago. So done a great job down there at Kennett, and is going to be stepping away from the football field to administrative position as athletic director at Dexter. So a little strange. That's Aaron Pixley on the sideline. His 10 letters with Dexter as head coach, and Kennett for his 4 to 5 years down there, and he'll be stepping away from the sideline. We'll see. Not seeing Aaron Pixley on Southeast Missouri football sideline for high school ranks, but certainly has earned the right to move on and do other things. But it's going to be a little strange, but we'll see how it all works out for Kennett going forward. And, that's how these things work. It's a domino effect. Aaron Pixley, even Kennett as their football coach, it means it's got to be filled. Whether they bring someone that's not from the area to fill that remains to be seen. But that's one thing. If they hire from around here in Southeast Missouri, it just creates another open position, which it becomes a domino effect. How these things typically work with especially football positions, because we don't have a lot of football jobs here in the Southeast Missouri part of the state of Missouri. So quite a domino it creates from the area. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens for Kennett and their football coaching search, as they got a pretty thing going right now. Aaron's done a great job getting them and to expect winning. That was one thing about Kennett's football program the last number of years. You just didn't expect a whole lot from them year in and year out. But Aaron's changed that going there, and they're expecting to win in a 9-game regular season. They're expecting to win 6-7 games a year. So that's the expectation that's been created there at Kennett. They're going to certainly try to sustain that going forward, especially with their new coach coming there at Kennett. So we'll see how it plays out going forward for Kennett, as Aaron Pixley taking the athletic director job at Dexter. And that's the news for this week, and a lot of games to the rest of the way. Hopefully you'll join us for the rest of the way right here on YHC. And we wish you to have a great week, and take care, everyone. And we'll see you at our next broadcast coming up Tuesday night. Class 1 sectionals at Bloomfield, Scott County Central and Advance. Hopefully we'll see you there, and have a good week, everyone.